And then Elvis, I was actually staying in his bedroom in Vegas, and I was sleeping on the Elvis bed with mirrors on the ceiling. It's exactly how Elvis used to have it.
Okay, you. I hope you understand that I have to ask you now. Was he in bed with you, or was he just in the room?
He was just in the room. I woke up at 3:00 in the morning going, oh, Elvis is still in the building, so it was crazy.
But what do they tell you? What did Elvis want to talk about?
Well, Elvis was just standing there. I mean, he really didn't say a great deal. And I think it shocked me, actually. I think it was more of a shock. And he just went, hello, you're in my bed. And then he went.
Hi, everyone. Before we begin, I want to let you know that this podcast is for informational and inspirational purposes only. The advice and insights shared here are based on my personal experiences and expertise, but they are not a substitute for professional, medical, psychological, or business advice. If you are dealing with a specific issue, please consult a qualified expert. And thanks for watching.
Hi, and welcome to Hope, Healing and Transformation. My name is Lisa Williams, and I'm your host of this podcast. As always, please like, share, subscribe, share it with all your friends. If this is something that you love, connecting with people, finding out people's stories, in the hope that it will help you. Now, on today's show, I know nothing. I know nothing about this person. My aim is to always bring hope to someone's life. My aim is to bring healing to someone's life and to help them transform their life so they can live the best life that they deserve. And as always, I just want to say as a reminder to you, remember, you are the most important person in your life, and it's about putting yourself first. And my next guest, who I have no idea except for a name, that's all I get given. I'm hoping to put her first right now and give her some hope and healing and transformation in her life. And maybe we can get her moving through maybe a hump that she's got, maybe communication with the spirit, because I actually feel like there's a spirit here. In fact, before we start, I'll tell you what I've got, because I wrote it down. We had some technical issues before the show, and I was feeling like there was a guy in spirit. I know nothing. All right. I haven't even met her. And I kept feeling as like this guy in spirit was very, I'm just going to say manipulative. I just got this impatient way about him, and a little bit of I don't know whether he was a narcissist or what, but anyway, but that's what I felt. And I could be completely wrong. And if I am, we'll edit this out. But I'm just going to share with you, that's what I was getting. So let's welcome my guest, Teresa, onto the show. Hi, Teresa.
Hello.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to tap in. I'm going to get some information. If you see me writing, that's just me tapping into whatever energy I've got. There's going to be a point that what I'll do is when I start working with you and your energy, which I may start working with first, I'm not actually sure. You'll see me do this. And what I'm actually doing is I'm putting it's almost like I'm feeling your body on my arm, and I work up and down your spine, and then I work in different areas, and I can actually try and pinpoint. I do work in a more psychosomatic way. So do you believe that sometimes we can have illnesses that are related to emotions?
Yes,
Okay.
100%.
So my question to you is, do you want to know everything?
Yes.
Okay, great. Obviously, if I start giving you information you don't want to know about, please let me know. But until then, I'm just going to completely surrender to spirit and give you everything that I get.
Okay.
Before the reading, I actually was, obviously you were having technical difficulties. I know I couldn't see you or anything like that. But what I was doing is I was actually writing some things down that I was picking up. And I kept feeling as though there was a huge amount, there was somebody in spirit. I felt like there was more than one now. And now I'm connecting in. I feel like there's more than one. In fact, I'm not sure if mom is on the other side, but I feel as though there's a connection to a female on the other side. I'm also seeing a male. I'm seeing two men as well. the two men are very, very prominent. Earlier on, I kept getting my dad. My dad is alive, but I kept getting my dad, and I'm not sure why, but I got his name as well. So my dad's name is Victor. Vic. Does that mean anything to you?
It's very close to my dad's name.
To your dad's name. Okay.
Yes.
So, which my dad is such an unusual name, Victor, whatever, so anyway. So I got that name. And would also Mum be in spirit, please?
No.
She's still with us. Okay. I heard a no at that point, but I have to just share with you, I've still got a woman. I'm not going to make it change. She could be a grandmother. I don't know who it is, but I've got two men that are prominent figures that are coming through. As I'm tapping into both of them, and I believe that your dad, okay, thank you. I've got two guys. One is younger, one is older. What it feels like is that one is younger. Okay, this is going to sound very, very weird. Would there be someone with the name of Chris, Christopher, Christian, Chris? Okay.
Yes.
And would that be somebody in spirit, please?
Yes.
Okay, because I've got that name. I only know that my brother's name's Christian, my husband's name's Chris, and it feels very, very familiar.
Yeah.
And Chris is also so Chris is in spirit, but that's not your dad, correct?
Correct. And he would go by Christian.
And he would go by Christian. I knew I needed to say my brother's name for some reason. And I was like, why am I giving you my brother's name? Because I never mentioned that. So my brother's name is Christian. And this person passed before your dad. No, after your dad, correct?
Correct.
Right. And they are not related, but thank you. But they're related via marriage. Is that right?
Correct.
Okay. Let me get more information. Which one of you we going first? All right. So I'm going to let Christian go first. All right, fine. I'm just going to share this. I can't believe what I'm actually about to come out with, so I'm sorry with what I'm going to say. Was he a narcissist by any chance? Literally, I heard the word narcissist.
It's funny. I've learned more about narcissism just recently, and I guess he would have some of those qualities. He did.
I am not here to psychoanalyze. I'm not here to diagnose. I'm not here to do anything. But the word narcissist, that's what I got. Now, he's not showing me that he's narcissistic because it's just not the way that he is right now. But what he's showing me is that word, and he's just said I was. And he's telling me he was very controlling. And there was a lot of controlling elements. Thank you. He's also making me aware. Was this a relationship that you were in? Because he's given me relationship with you. So were you married to him or were you in a relationship with him?
No, he was my father-in-law.
Your father-in-law. Okay. So via marriage. Okay.
Correct.
So I've got this guy that's actually and he's showing me that he was a very controlling man. All right. And that's what he's letting me know. I'm not saying that he's going to be here all the long time. But he's showing me that he was a very controlling man and he was a very difficult man as well. All right. And I do feel that he's just said very opinionated. He's not the type of guy that is actually someone who is very leading forward. Thank you. He's actually just said that, and this is what I've just heard, that you have a lot of issues regarding men. You don't trust men. Does that make sense?
100%.
Okay. Because what he's showing me is that there's a lot of issues from him. Is he an ex-father-in-law?
Yes.
Because he's showing me that he's an ex. Okay.
Yes.
And do you understand? All right. So interestingly enough, bear with me. I've got like this, it's kind of a bit fuzzy over there right now. It's all blending into one. If I connect in with your dad, I feel very loving with him. All right. I feel a very loving man. I feel very, very different from Christian. I feel like he's a very loving man. He's a decent guy. I feel very trustworthy with him. what I am being shown is I feel like he's been gone probably about, I don't know whether it's been like, I don't know, 13, 14 years, but he feels like he's been gone a while. It feels like he's been gone over 10 years.
Yes, he has.
And in that space, thank you, I've also been told that it's still very raw for you. You know, him passing away is still something very raw. And I feel as though it's actually been an issue with mom. So I'm not sure if mom is still, you know, there's still a lot of communication or talk about dad. But would they parted at some point?
Yes.
Because he's showing me that there was a parting of the ways with mom and dad. But what he's showing me is that there is still some form of communication that your mom talks about with dad or whatever it might be. Okay. He's just said, come on to me afterwards, because the main issue is not lying with him. The main issue lies possibly on an in-law way or an ex-partner or an ex-relationship is what I'm being shown. And all I've just heard is son. So if I can go back to Christian, is I've just heard the word son, thank you. And I've also just heard that he's here. So that doesn't mean anything. Is he here or is he there? Would Christian's son be in the spirit world as well?
Yes.
So this would be an ex-partner of yours?
Yes.
Okay. What I'm actually being shown here, could he be a little bit volatile, your ex?
Yes.
And if I may say this, that was an understatement. And that's the word coming from Christian?
Yes.
Okay, sorry. And if at any point that this is too much, please let me know. All right.
No, I'm good. I'm good.
Your dad, if I can say this, your dad's sort of sitting over here and he's just sitting back and kind of watching the party, almost to say, all right, let's see how this one goes down. So I do feel that your dad could be a little bit, let's see how this one goes down. It's like he's very protective of you. All right. And he's super, super protective. I feel that he was always the man that would step in and help you, always the man that would step in and support you. Now, what he's showing me is that this relationship that you had, I do feel that he knew this. Were you married to this guy?
Yes.
Okay, so he knew this person, or he knew your ex-husband is what he's just showing me. And he's actually just said to me, he pulled the wool over everyone's eyes, but your dad didn't really like him. Okay, so I need you to know that your dad didn't like him, but he's just said to me that you had to make your own decisions. You had to make your own situations. And my attention, let me see what dad has to say. He's like, no, go back there. So my attention is going to Christian and his son. So weird that I got the name Christian. It's so bizarre. The two of them are like father, like son. And let me ask you, with regards to your ex-husband, I'm not picking up his name. What's his name?
Rob. Robert. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Come on then, Rob, talk to me. He's actually would he fit the definition of narcissistic as well?
No.
Okay, that's fine. I got narcissist somewhere, so it must be for Christian. That's okay. Let me explain with Rob. I feel like there's a huge amount of trauma here. I feel like there's a lot of trauma. I feel like there's a lot of pain is what I'm being shown. A huge amount of pain. And I feel that Rob was on a self-destruct mode. And I'm not sure why I say that, but I feel very self-destructive. Mm-hmm. And I feel that thank you. And I've just heard that I feel that your relationship, it was a very difficult situation. And I'm actually being honest with you. I feel like the breakup of the relationship happened before his passing. Am I correct in saying that?
That is correct.
And what I'm actually being shown, thank you. And what I'm actually being shown here is the relationship needed to break up. Mm-hmm. and that there shouldn't be any guilt about it, but I feel like there is some form of guilt somewhere. All right. So would you be feeling the guilt?
Yes.
Okay. He's showing you not to have the guilt. And he's saying it's actually not good for you. It's irrelevant. It is not something that you need. He's also letting me know that in a lot of ways, he was very self-sabotaging. Okay. There was a lot of self-sabotaging. He was very challenging. And I feel like he didn't look after himself at all. Okay. Did he have a substance issue or alcohol or something? Because that's what I was being shown. And here's what I got beforehand, and I'll share it with you because I just wrote it on a piece of paper. And I wasn't sure where this was lying. So bearing in mind now we've got all the spirits. I'd got control, gaslighting, manipulation, substance abuse, challenging, didn't look after himself. And then I also put underneath something else about possible your symptoms. I put Victor question mark. So that was what was going on. That's what was going on. And then I also felt as though, I'm not sure if you've been having some stomach concerns, but I got emotional burdens, that there've been a huge amount of emotional burdens. You've kind of been stuck in this fight or flight, emotional stress, and there's unresolved trauma. And there's a lot of fearing about love or fear about the future or fear. Okay. Yeah. So I don't know whether any of that all relates to you.
That's exactly. I mean, you hit the nail on the head with all of them.
Okay.
Yes.
So while you guys were having your technical difficulties and I was thinking about my kids' stuff,
right.
You know, I was picking up all of that. Okay, great.
Yes, so, even down to stomach. And I don't know if you want me to tell you how the Victor comes in.
Yeah, how does Victor come in?
Dad's name was Virgil.
Virgil. Okay, I would never have got that, but the V was very important for me. Okay, Virgil was very important. Okay. Mm-hmm. Let's carry on. Let's talk to Rob. I want you to know from him, he loved you. All right, Rob really loved you. Rob was someone, thank you, who just said I couldn't show emotion. He was scared to show emotion. And also he lived in a huge amount of fear with his father. There was a huge amount of fear with his family. And I feel like he never really got his head right. Does that make sense to you?
Yes.
He never really got his head right. And I do feel, and I think a lot of psychics and mediums throw around the mental health card a lot and they diagnose in a way, and I think it shouldn't be. But I do feel that Rob struggled with his own mental health. I feel that his own mental challenges and bumps in the road actually had a huge impact on you. And what I feel is that you tried to save him. And he's just said there was no saving me.
Okay.
There was no saving him. And I feel that what you did is here's what's interesting about this, Teresa, is I feel like, I don't know whether you went through so much relationships where you were trying to come back together a lot, because what it felt like is you were coming forwards and backwards. I felt like you were always trying to work on your relationship. So I'm not sure if you were, but I feel I'm not sure if you were trying to work on your relationship, but he showed me that you were always trying to work on it. And it became a really hard thing. And communication, and he's just said that he couldn't communicate. Mm-hmm. He couldn't communicate. And he's just said that actually you have had issues with other relationships. So it's been a very, very challenging time for you to actually have new relationships for you. Yes. And he's saying that you've been trying, you've been wanting it, you've been trying to do it. He said, but you've had this block. So I'm not sure if you've had this emotional block going on, but for him, you've had okay, if I could put a plug in my head right now, you could see it. You've been walking down a road or a pathway, and I feel like you've been falling flat on your face. You know,
Yes.
there's a falling flat. He wants you to know that you did everything possible to heal this relationship. And he really appreciates everything that you did.
Okay.
And he's saying that no one was the victim here in this relationship. No one was the bad guy. And I feel that that's important that you realize, because I feel like you just couldn't stay in that relationship.
Mm-hmm.
And
That's right.
he's just said, he doesn't blame you. He is healed now.
Okay.
And he's just said that he feels responsible for his own passing. Mm-hmm. And he's sorry that this is actually something that has been a challenge to you.
It has.
It's been a massive challenge. And
Yes.
he's talking about you having nightmares. So I'm not sure if you have nightmares and you have all of these difficulties, but he's showing me that you have these nightmares and you can't, I don't know how else to explain it, but other than the fact that you can't feel like you can't move forward.
That's
Does that
correct.
make sense?
It makes absolute sense. Yes, that's exactly how I feel.
Okay. Do you have a daughter
Yes.
between you?
I would say yes. She was his stepdaughter, but he considered her his daughter.
Okay. Because he's just said, we have a daughter. Okay.
Yes.
And
Yep.
he's showing me that he wants you to know how much he loves her and that he will always be in her life. And that this daughter is such, she was the greatest thing for him. She was really the greatest thing. Rob had a huge amount of PTSD for some reason.
Oh, okay.
I'm not sure what over. He's not letting
Right.
me know. But he's showing me that he had a huge amount of anxiety, difficulties, PTSD. It was a very, very, very hard thing for him. And he's just said there was nothing that he could do.
Right.
It was just a very, very tough space for him. You know, I feel like he was locked in his brain. I don't know how else to explain it. Locked in his thoughts. You know,
Yeah.
he locked himself away. And I'm telling you, he said your smile got him. And he said that you were so confident and so sassy when you first met. You know, that's what he loved about you. He loved the sassiness. He loved the confidence. He's like, I knew she was going to be it. And he's like, he was going right after you. You know,
Yeah.
like this is, you're it. You're it. There was no escaping him and his clutches in that way.
That is true.
I gotta tell you, you were it. And he chased you because he knew that you were the one. He said, despite you going, oh, no, because you were trying to fight. I'm not saying fight him off, but I don't feel as though you were completely 100% interested all the
That's
way.
true. Yes.
Because he said, oh, she was fighting them all off. But he's just said that this is, you know, he was adamant. He was fighting after you and he was going to go for it. But
Yeah.
he's did his mom pass?
No.
His mom's still with us.
She is. Mm-hmm.
Was there an issue with his mom by any chance? I feel like there was something with a female. Let me go with this. He's showing me that there was an issue with a female that caused some major problems.
Oh.
Was that one of a family member or something like that?
Yeah, he would talk about some things from childhood that were related to an immediate family member. So that might
Being a
be what he's
female?
referring to. Yes.
Because he's showing me that there was major issues with a female. He's
Yes.
showing me in some aspects mom knew about this.
Yes, she would have.
And he's showing me that there was no protection. I don't know what that means.
I know what it means.
Okay, there was
I
no
understand.
protection.
Yes.
And he's just said he doesn't want to talk about it, but he's going to. It hurts to talk about it. Okay? And I want you to know on an aspect with the fact that even though he's in spirit, human emotions such as hurt, pain, worry, everything else is not relevant in the spirit world. But I feel that on a human level, I have to explain that would hurt him if he was talking about it in the earth plane. Okay, it would be very, very hard. First of all, he wants you to. Okay, I'll say it this way. He wants you to be happy and he wants you to move on. But there is a feeling of you struggling to move on because of what's going on and what's been happening. Okay? I gotta tell you, he is such a sweet man. And he's just said, we will be together again. And have you ever thought that he was your soulmate? Because that's what he's showing me.
That's why I'm having such a hard time moving forward, because I know we will be together again. And I feel him so deeply, often, every day. And that's why I feel like he's saying it's okay to move forward feels good. It's kind of like I needed that, but it's still just physically so hard to put one foot in front of the other.
Right, exactly. Now, is there a son around? Do you have a son?
Yes, we do.
Because he acknowledges your son as well. And that would be between the two of you, correct?
Yes.
And it's just the one son, correct?
Correct.
Because he's only shown me one daughter and one son. Is that right?
That's right.
But he was showing me your son, and he's saying that he is like a carbon copy of him. All right. So there's a lot of similarities between the two of them. And what I really love in this relationship is that you're trying to not let your son go the same path as your husband. All right.
That's right.
And he's saying he won't.
Okay.
He won't.
Okay.
You've got to trust him on this. He won't. So let me tap in, if I may, to your body and let me see what's actually going on, because I feel like that's very significant. All I need you to do is just sit and relax for a moment. I'm just going to invite you to come. When you were younger, when you were a kid, you were very excitable. You're like, oh my God, let's come and look at this. Come and look at that. So were you quite an excitable child when you were younger?
Yes,
okay. I just needed to connect in, and you're like, oh my God, look at this and look at this. And I feel as though you were a mile a minute. Okay. You know, you were just like, oh my God. And so now I've got you. Interestingly enough, as I'm connecting into you, your energy feels really good. But do you ever have bad back as well? Sometimes your back gets a little bit stiff. Certainly between the shoulder blades is what I'm actually picking up. So I'm not sure if you've had difficulties in the shoulder blades, because this is where you're burdening. You shoulder the weight of everybody. It's like you try to protect absolutely everybody, and it may go into your neck area, may give you some headaches. Do you ever suffer with headaches as well?
I do occasionally.
Okay.
No migraines, but regular headaches.
Yeah, it's just headaches. I would have said migraines if I felt that, but it felt just a little headaches, but it feels like it's down your. Okay, it feels like it's down your back here, right into your shoulder blades. Actually, as I'm this is actually your mom in here. Do you actually find that you're supporting your mom a huge amount?
Yeah, Especially right now.
This is right now. You're shouldering your mom right now. You're carrying your mom in your shoulders. Do you have a sister as well, by any chance?
Yes.
I feel like, I don't know whether there's a little bit of an issue about maybe your sister isn't there all the time, or you feel like you're having to carry the weight of it. But it feels to me as though there's an issue here with your sister, and it's deep seated in there. Does that make sense? Let me come into your stomach. Wow. All right. This is a big, if I can explain this, it feels like it's a big kind of hairball. I don't know how else to explain it. Oh, the little hairball there. I don't even know where the beginning is.
Yes.
The end is. It's like, wah. All right. So
yes, exactly.
It feels like a big knot. It feels like a big knot in your stomach.
That's what it feels like. Exactly.
And it's kind of in this area, right, sort of like in that upper, the middle. It's not right to the bottom. It's kind of upper middle, you know?
Exactly. That's 100%.
And as I'm there, I feel like this is a huge amount of worry for you. You worry a huge amount. And as I'm, that's not mine. Do you ever struggle not being able to speak your truth or speak your mind?
Yes.
So this is a stomach, which is the stomach meridian is all about worry. I'm going to check your polarities in a minute. But I feel like there's a huge amount of, fine. I've just been told cut the cord from between the two of you first. All right. You're not losing him just because I'm cutting the cord.
Okay.
I want you to know that.
Okay.
Okay, great. I'm using a crystal right now. I'm using selenite. Okay. Wow, that's easier. All right, so as I'm pulling this energy out, I still feel a thread that is linking you, but it's not the toxic thread that was linking you before. And I don't know whether you've had a huge amount of therapy about this relationship or with this relationship, but it feels to me as though you've had therapies that have all not necessarily contradicted each other, but it felt like they weren't cohesive together. It felt like it kind of, it just felt like you were constantly in a very different, I don't know how else to explain it. It just felt it didn't work. I don't know how, I'm just going to put it that way.
That's right. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Any other questions or anything else that I can help you with?
I don't think so. No,
Good.
I think I'm good. I mean, you really summed it all up. I mean, it was everything I was feeling, thank you.
So thanks for joining me on Hope, Healing and Transformation. I cannot tell you how amazing it is when someone can have those connections and realize that they are responsible for their own healing, and that when someone wants to do it, then transformation can really happen. And sometimes it's actually just hearing, hey, I'm okay. Hey, it's okay to move on. And then it gives them permission to find their true life, their identity, and move on to the hope, healing, and transformation. So my name is Lisa Williams. Like, share, subscribe if you've enjoyed this episode, and I will see you all again next time.
Thank you so much for joining me today. And remember, the information shared on this podcast is meant to inspire and support you, but it's not a replacement for personalized advice from a qualified professional. If you enjoyed this episode, please share it with someone who might benefit. And don't forget to tune in next time. Until then, take care and keep believing in something better.